Welcome to the Kill the Dreamer Early Bird Show on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM, King Biz Radio.
Thank you for tuning in. We once again are at the Kill the Dreamer Early Bird Show. This is episode 3, Mike King Biz Radio, ESPN Richmond. I have a special guest, Eric Jackson of the Richmond Seen. I'm a big fan of what you're doing with the Richmond Seen, but we go back. This is a man of culture, man. This is a guy that, from the time I met him, he was not from here, but he just got here really, and just literally embraced the city and saw the best things about Richmond and has been contributing in whatever way that he possibly can the entire time, whether that was Cap Soul and trying to bridge culture with the brewery side of things. We were running Champion Brewery, and that's how we first connected, because you opened the doors to RVA Rap Elite in season 2 at a time that we definitely needed a new home, and that's led to what we'll talk about as part of this interview. But I think it's important to speak on the fact that you're not from here, and that you right now you've created a platform that is completely focused on highlighting the best parts of Richmond, the people that are doing, whether that's artists, whether that's businesses, brands, and it's super important. It's super valuable. But please tell me a little bit more. Tell everyone a little bit more about who Eric Jackson is, where you're from, and then how you've arrived here, and what it is that inspired you to hop into the city the way that you have.
Yeah. Do I talk to you?
Yeah,
Talk to the camera.
Either one, don't matter.
I feel like I'd do better if I do.
That's fine.
Talk to you. But yeah, Eric, I am from Portsmouth, Virginia. And so my ties to Richmond are strong. My mom grew up here.
Okay.
My grandparents were here. All my cousins. If you're a William out there, you probably and there's some brothers out there that are in the game and rap and shit like that that are Williams that are blood. So the ties to Richmond are are deep and emotional. I remember coming here all the time as a kid, going to my grandparents' house. You know what I'm saying, and just enjoying the culture and the people of Richmond. And so I think that's why I gravitated so directly when I moved back here about 10, 11 years ago. And like you said about culture, like it's just in my blood. It's part of my nature. I think the same way as you are as an MC, what the outpouring of what you see Eric Jackson do, like that's what's gonna happen. Like, and you can't stop that. Like, you can't, and I don't think I can either. And I think that I've come to learn that and be comfortable with how I see and enjoy the experiences around me.
No, I think that I can. I think that's evident that it's natural, right? That it's not performative or opportunistic. Because a lot of times when people kind of like create platforms or even when it comes to like pride elements of like, okay, I'm going to brand this Richmond Pride thing, or I'm going to brand this thing. It's kind of like sometimes very opportunistic. It's like, okay, I see a lane there, so I want to, kind of like hitch my wagon to this lane, or no one's in it. And there's nothing wrong with that, because business is business, right? But there's a difference between approaching something from purely a business standpoint, or purely an opportunistic standpoint, and approaching it with business-minded approach, but from a pure and organic place where it's like, this is just naturally something I care about.
Right.
And this is what I want to contribute. This is how I want to contribute to this. And I think that's what reflects in what makes what you do come across so genuine and authentic. You also, Richmond Seen has a print media element to it. It's an actual physical newspaper. We don't have it here.
We don't have it on this.
But I will say, I think, Richmond is a place that's been known for having print media, but it's something that I think across the board, not only in Richmond, but across the board, it has something that's faded away, right? Like just the idea of print media has gone away. Everything's gone digital, which you do a great job from a digital perspective as well. But I think what makes you stand out, one, is not only just that you have a paper, but I think the presentation of the paper, the design, the thought, and then how dense it is, right? Like every piece of the paper, every fold turn has content, has someone being or something being highlighted or a story being told. And I think that's super important as well. Tell me about what it was that made you want to jump into that side of things. Because I mean, media is it's a lot, right? And one thing that I've learned about platforming people, and we've talked about this, is that, everybody wants to be platformed.
Everybody wants to be seen.
Right, everybody wants to be seen, right? So it can be difficult prioritizing who is, who isn't. It can be difficult in determining what gets done because it should get done and what gets done because it should be paid for, right?
You're talking now.
Right?
Yeah,
right. But yeah, just tell me your perspective on that.
On what?
on one, your approach to the paper and what made you want to do it, and then two, how you navigate some of those, those pieces of it.
The approach to the paper, I think initially it did not start as like a physical print paper. And I feel like I have this reoccurring story in my creator journey where when I start something, it usually starts off the same way. I didn't mean for it.
Right, to turn
to do. I was just like, writing a review on a certain artist, Skinny Hendrix.
Right.
Shout out to Skinny. And it was just, me and my partner, we loved it. It was great to give back, even to another artist, right? Because I think that's a piece that is missing out of hip hop culture. It's just like that review. Yeah, that blog style. You know what I mean? Like, journalistic. I'm glad to see the game. Like he's been putting out these reviews here lately, which have been fun to watch and read. But for us, it was really about creating something that so we could feel seen, and so that others could feel seen as well. As far as the design, like we wanted to make sure that we hit all the pockets, right? Like so there, music, arts and culture. Community, which we, that's like activism,
right?
Farming, land, wellness. I mean, I think back to like the newspapers we had as kids, right?
Right.
I would go through those newspapers. At the time, we were living in Nashville. It was the Tennessean, so we, I'd go through it, flip through, what I could understand, and go through the comics,
right.
Do the crossword puzzles. So like. Our paper has all of that.
Right.
It, like so when you say every piece is filled with content, like it's absolutely true. And so that's how that's kind of the inspiration and everything for that. How do we decide who's in it?
Yeah. Well, how are you navigating the complexities of of what you prioritize and dealing also with the pressures of others' expectations or entitlements, right? But I think, the Kill the Dreamer show, we talk a lot about what is our journey as people that are taking ideas, conceptualizing them, taking action on them, and then living those ideas and dreams out. And then also what those challenges are in that process, right? And I think entitlement and the expectations of others plays into any and everyone's journey through this type of thing, right? And also how others may project upon you. So like, I guess when you're curating something, you have a vision for it, right? But it involves other people.
Yeah.
How do you navigate the expectations and entitlements of others?
So I think we have learned to navigate it now. So we'll be coming up on a year since our first issue, March 16th. What's today's date? We in March now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
wow.
Fresh in March.
So March 16th would be the year. And so that process has just been learning people's emotional reactions in response to the paper being out, getting questions and fielding DMs from, countless people. But through all that time, we found that the value, right? So like placing a value on our paper and what we do helps to mitigate who's in it for the most part. And that's kind of what we're doing this go around. So there might be like a special feature on a restaurant. Because I don't want it full of ads. So I want it to more be like to be a partnership, right? So where it's an ongoing partnership with said artist, business, or what have you, where we'll continue to help push the brand on digital as well as in the paper, and do things like that. We do columns, so we'll do like new music on Seen. It's been me just kind of going through music that we've been really fucking, enjoying.
Right.
And so that's kind of how that goes on. So yeah, it's a process. There are people that are definitely on our list, and a lot of folk we've had conversations with them on the back end on timeline.
Okay.
I think planning helps a lot in that, right? So because we'll get in situations where it's like we're putting something out and then you start getting this like cross between two things. It's like, all right, let's plan this out better because we're learning that, right? So sometimes if we're not responding to someone or if it's in the paper or not, it's because of timing, right? We want to make sure that everybody gets the same equal play in amount of time, because once you start doing too much, it becomes watered down, like we see with anything else that you start to see a lot of.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because what I was going to say too is, people always ask like, oh, is hip hop dead? And, for a while, I was saying, if you want to say hip hop is dead, I'll say journalism is dead, right? Because I see it as like there's so little journalistic integrity, right, out in the world now, mainly because of the internet and the desire to create engagement, and the desire to, for a lot of these platforms just to stay relevant, right? They feel like they have to clickbait and do whatever it is that's going to generate some sort of attention, which a lot of times is not the truth. It's not what is real. It's about what's entertaining more so than anything. How do you maintain your journalistic integrity in a time like this?
I think we just try to stay true to the things that excite us, right? So, and true to who we are, right? So, like I won't be turned on by some clickbait artist or feature or whatever the case may be.
Right,
Just because let me go do that. It's a genuine interest, or it's a genuine spark of some relatability
Right.
to what the overall paper might be about. So that's kind of what leads that.
Right, and I think that what you also do is you have great taste, right? I think it's very tasteful how you present artists, how you present businesses, how you present pretty much everyone that's in the paper. And I think that the taste in which you present with is also reflected in the taste of your choices, like the choices that you have. And I think that, for me, I think that that's a core foundation pretty much in anything creative. It's like it starts with having good taste, right? And that's not to say that, things are subjective, right? So some people like this, some people like that. But I think that there is a foundational level of understanding quality and understanding substance and understanding what speaks to you, and then creating an audience that reflects those same, outlooks. And I think you do a great job executing in that way.
Well, I appreciate that.
So that we've talked about the vision for Richmond Seen, and we've talked about some partnerships. Obviously, there's a great partnership that I would like to discuss. That stemmed from when you first opened your doors at Champion Brewery. You embraced RVA Rap Elite early. And now we have a media partnership between RVA Rap Elite and the Richmond Seen. We just started our season 8 premiere after taking a year-long hiatus. This past Sunday, we had our premiere episode at Vagabond. It went extremely well. You were in the building, covering it. I felt like that presence added, it elevated what it is that we were doing. What is it about RVA Rap Elite that, one, made you embrace it to begin with? And what is it that you see now that makes you want to have this partnership?
What made me want to embrace it, man? I said it earlier, it's just like it's part of me. I was like, oh, family wants to come over? Hey, doors open. So I think that's what it is for me. I see hip hop and everything, all the elements within it as part of my blood. I see it as family. So there's never like a border or anything that's going to separate me from that. So if I see the opportunity to work with or to help gain exposure with, I'll take it.
Right. No, and we appreciate that. See, because people don't know you're an MC as well.
I figured that's where you were trying to go.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going there, but I think that, I think that's...
I wouldn't call myself that anymore. I mean, it's been...
Okay, anymore. But if you called yourself that at one time, when you say that, Rap Elite felt like family, when I met you, we were relatively strangers, right? So I think that the familial element doesn't come from our personal relationship.
For sure.
It comes from your connection to hip hop culture and to rap, and being able to, like, when we first sat down about it, that's how I found out you rap, because it was like, yo, I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm passionate about it, and this is why, right? Like, this is why I'm passionate about it. And so I think that plays a big part in how this is all come together 100%. As well.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you said earlier about taste, right? Like, I have been writing since, a long time, probably like 10, 11 years old. Journals and, composition notebooks and shit. Things like that. So, it's always been a part of my life. So when you grow up in that not necessarily environment per se, but just that understanding. You've studied, artists over the course of now 40 years.
Right.
You appreciate the ones that are doing a job that's reflective of the greats that we came up with.
Right. So after this Sunday, what would you say were like what stood out to you? Who stood out to you?
Yeah.
What were like key moments of, because I mean, we're gonna cover, obviously you guys have a lot of content that was procured at the event, so there's gonna be a lot of rollout from there.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Before we get into Rap Elite, well, no, we'll continue there.
Okay.
What were the highlights for you of the night?
The Era Hardaway, Trilnick.
Yeah. Out now on Southpaw YouTube.
Yeah, that I knew immediately. You couldn't even get. You were talking, right?
Right.
And while you were talking to say, who's going, Trill just cut you off. And sped through.
Right.
And that was the first thing that happened that night.
Right.
And I knew at that point, I was like, okay, it's only up from here.
Right.
So that night really, that really was a highlight.
Yeah.
One of the highlights of the night for sure. The 30 MC Cypher, that was bananas.
Shout out to Trey Authentic, winning his 9th hoodie.
Yep.
He's got a closet full of championship hoodies.
That's wild. But even it going to the sudden death, right? Like
Right.
that was wild. Six of them.
6 sudden death. I think the last time we had that many people in sudden death would have been season 2 back at Champion Brewery. I don't think we've had that many people in sudden death since that time frame. So yeah, very competitive cipher as well. You're gonna be doing a lot of content. I want to make sure that we don't miss this particular piece. Can you tell me about the Richmond Seen Awards that are coming up?
Yeah, 100%. April 16th, happening April 16th at Center. So the awards is a celebration of arts and culture, music, just Black culture in Richmond, just in general, to cover everything. There are 6 awards. And in those awards, we're highlighting artists and creatives. We're highlighting restaurants, food pop-ups. We're highlighting, I need my Scene Awards list in front of me, but an array of awards that we're putting out. The Scene Awards is one of the top ones where we're highlighting individuals and creatives that are doing work in the city with different platforms.
Okay.
So, because that's important, right? I think it's important that you have someone that's holding the torch and leading, whether it's a platform, an organization that's independent, right? Not connected to anything, because that's when the work gets real, and the work is organic and authentic.
Absolutely.
So yeah, April 16th, we have sponsors that we'll be announcing soon. We have 2 super phenomenal artists that will be coming through to close out the award show. I can't wait to announce. Going to be hosted by Jess Was Here.
Okay.
Yep, she'll be there.
Shout out to Jess.
Got a co-host that we'll be announcing soon too. So it's going to be a dope night. Thursday, April 16th. At my center.
Nice. And Black RVA is...
Yeah, Black RVA is sponsoring. We did a grant last year.
Okay.
Excuse me, and ended up winning that and was able to do this event.
Nice. All right, so with all of these things that you're doing, and like we talk about the journey through turning an idea into, into action, tangible, and then action into something tangible. What are, in the Kill the Dreamer spirit, what are 3 things, 3 words, 3 behaviors, however you want to, define them, that you feel, in your experience, that a person needs in order to actualize their dreams and ideas?
I'm trying not to use the word consistency because I feel like everyone needs to have that, but consistency is one.
I mean,
because if you're not
is.
consistent, you know, the work's not going to get done at all. So consistency. I think like vulnerability or like honesty with yourself about where you are, and what I mean by that, like you won't put something out too early if it's not ready, right?
Right.
You won't rush around. Like I think when you're honest with what you're doing and only thinking about how you want it to be done,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's going to be the most authentic of what that piece of art is going to be. Like, I look at the paper that way too. Like
Right.
that, you know, it's art to me because
Absolutely.
it's detail,
Right.
it's planning, it's formats. You know what I mean? It's like it's flow. Like it's, you know, I think about how the flow
Right.
goes. So anyway, like I think if we can being honest and having that sense of vulnerability with yourself is very important.
I want to pause on that one really quickly because, you know, I've been critical of the word delusion that, you know, people say, you know, if you want to reach your dreams, you got to be delusional, right?
I hear
me
that.
being a word person, like I understand what people mean by that, right? They mean that you have to be able to see past what is the current circumstance and be able to believe in something that may seem impossible, right? But delusion in reality means that this is not possible, but you think it's possible, right? When you are honest enough with yourself, I think delusion also means that you're not being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so when you say be honest and vulnerable with yourself, I think it's very important for people to understand where they stand at that particular time and where they stand in proximity to their goals and where they stand in proximity to their competition, right? Or to the people that they're inspired by. Like you know, I think oftentimes delusion is where entitlement comes from, right? You start to get entitled to things that you don't deserve yet because you're delusional. But if you're honest, you're like, okay, I still need to work at this, right? And I think that's where the traction and the happens, where you can get some momentum is like, I'm being honest, and I'm being honest with the fact that I can go as far as I want to go. And that's defiant, but it's not delusional, right? It's like, I can defy the things that the expectations people have, or what limitations may look like they're in front of me. I can defy them, but I'm not delusional. So I think when you say, you know, being honest and being vulnerable enough to say, I need some work, and I gotta work, and I gotta get up here, and I gotta do it. I think that's super important. What's your third one?
Yeah, that was a great way to break down or put together what I said. What would be the third one? And the question is about what
it takes. Like,
what it takes.
Yeah, what do you think are the things that are most important in a person's journey to actualizing their dreams? So you have consistency, you have honesty with self, and what's the third piece?
I'm torn.
You can give me four if you have multiple.
So I never want to use money as an excuse for anything. It's just like I'm not gonna ever say like, oh, you gotta have no, because I can make some shit work.
Right.
I can make some things work. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's belief, right? So I think that it trumps money, because it's like, even if I don't have this or that, I can make it happen. So it has to be that unwavering, not delusional, belief in self and in the vision to put forth.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Faith,
Yeah,
right?
faith.
So belief, faith go hand in hand. And I think that, you know, for us, God-fearing people, right? And God-believing, right? Faith, faith and belief. So it's like someone would say to believe in something that you can't see is delusional. No, we're talking faith, right? And we're talking belief. And that's the piece, right? That having the belief and knowing that anything is possible, right? And knowing that the circumstances are not what dictates the outcome, right? So yeah, no, I agree.
Got one more.
Yes.
Plan. You got to plan. Like, I almost feel like one of those other ones could probably go.
No, we add them all.
But planning, like, and I can say that because, like, I know if I do not plan, like, I can have it up here, right? But if I don't write that stuff down, if I don't write it down, I'm not gonna make what's in here come out and into fruition in the detail that I would want it to. So you have to plan. You got to get detailed. You got to write everything down. So yeah, like my notes app and books, just the same way I was used to write raps and stuff, is where now I write visions and dreams about just things that I want to see done within the community, or just projects that I want to get done. Right. So I think just writing things down and being detailed with your dreams, and your vision, would take you a lot further than.
All right. No, I agree. And that's one that hasn't been stated. And I think that's one of, if not just as important as having the belief, right? And because that's what lays the foundation for your next steps, right? So it's like we have ideas and we have actions, but if you don't write down how you plan to take action, you kind of just start wandering off, and for a person like me with, ADHD, you can't really you start wandering off, you might go off course, right? It's easier to be caught up in the distractions when you don't have a solid plan and you're not walking that plan down.
100%.
I want to thank you for being here. We got like maybe 1 minute left. It's been a great conversation. Can you tell, send them off. What is it that you want them to know? How can they find you? So on and so forth.
Yo, make sure y'all stay up to date with us at therichmondseen.com. We update with different news coming from the culture in the city of Richmond and beyond every other day. Also follow us on Instagram at The Richmond Seen, Facebook, Threads, all the same thing. And that's Seen, SEEN, all right?
And stay tuned for the continuance of the partnership between RBA Rap Elite and Richmond Seen. Also tap in on Saturday. We're at Uptown Alley providing support for the Immortal Technique show. The tour coming through. RBA Rap Elite is providing support. Richmond Seen might be in the building as well. So Early Bird Radio Show, Kill the Dreamer, Mike King Biz Radio, ESPN Richmond. We're out. Episode 3 is a wrap.